It's Wellness Wednesday. We're here. We made it to another Wellness Wednesday. And I have an exciting topic for you today. We're going to be talking about kava, its history, its origins, its medicinal benefits. So go ahead, grab your pen, grab your paper, grab some tea, and let's get into it. What is kava, right? Kava, also known as Kava Kava or Ava, is a type of perennial shrub that belongs to the pepper family. However, it's not a nightshade. The word kava actually originates from Tonga, and it translates to bitter. So when you try kava for the first time, you may find that it's a little bitter on the tongue, and that's how it tastes. It's bitter, it's earthy, it's an herb, but as we're gonna learn in just a few, it's packed with nutrients and medicinal properties and qualities. Kava is believed to connect the ancient Pacific Islanders to their ancestors. It's a sacred practice of consuming kava, and we're gonna learn more about that today. So, the Polynesian peoples actually are from Southeast Asia, places like Taiwan. And these Lapitan people migrated to the Polynesian islands. Now, they started migrating between 1600 and 500 BCE. And the name Lapita, it actually describes the ancient pottery that was discovered in New Caledonia. These people became highly mobile, sea-borne explorers and colonists who established themselves throughout the region. So beginning in about 1600 BCE, they spread to the Solomon Islands. They reached Fiji, Tonga, and the rest of Western Polynesia by 1000 BCE. And they dispersed around Micronesia by 500 BC. So how many of you have seen Moana, the movie, the Disney movie, right? This is that history, right? These people are explorers, and they got onto boats and they traveled throughout that region. So the consumption of traditional forms of kava has a long history, right? We're talking thousands of years. And it's been domesticated throughout these regions in Polynesia, Micronesia, Polynesia, Melanesia, all throughout those islands. Now, kava is traditionally, or was traditionally served during significant events, such as welcoming guests into your home, right? You would offer them a drink of kava, similar to like how we in America offer you, hey, you want a glass of water? Well, there it was kava, right? In celebrating a new baby into the family, a childbirth, you would drink kava. During marriages, and interestingly enough, for conflict resolution between tribes. Polynesian royalty is said to also drink this during funerals. So, for those of you that don't know, I'm Tiffany, also known as Chef Ty. Now, I am a holistic chef, I'm a wellness coach, I'm a personal chef, and I'm a pre-med student turned chef, actually, who's passionate about helping you heal your body through food. And kava is a strong, strong medicinal root, and we're gonna talk more about that in just a little bit, okay? Quick disclaimer, here at Holistic Chefs, we are a group of health coaches, not nutritionists or dietitians. They don't provide nutritional counseling, education, or advice aimed to prevent, treat, or cure any disease or condition or other acts that may be perceived as medical nutrition therapy. All right, so we got the homework out the way. Now we're gonna get into the meat. So today we're gonna talk about 6 different types of kava. So here at Kava Culture South Tampa, the main kava strains that they carry are, number 1, Fijian kava. Now, kava is actually the national drink of Fiji, where it's called actually, and forgive me if I'm butchering these words, but it's called Yakona and Malogu. Again, Yakona in their language means bitter, which describes the taste of the kava and its earthy, unique taste. Malogu, which means subdue, refers to the relaxing effects of drinking kava. Both of these kavas are known for, or this specific kava is known for its mind and body effects. So depending on where you are in the world, the effects of the kava change. So the second we're going to talk about today is Vanuatu. And Vanuatu is actually the ancestral home of Pacific Island kava. There are over 80 varieties of kava in Vanuatu, and each one has a unique flavor profile. These kavas also are good for mind-body relaxation and for helping you shift into a mellow, calm mood. Okay? The third kava here at Kava Culture South Tampa is Solomon kava. Now, Solomon is a very high quality kava that is selected from the plants of 7 years, okay, 7 years, that have been organically grown in volcanic soil. So here at Kava Culture, we have the Solomon and Vanuatu that are their premium blends. These blends are strained, which is why they're considered premium. And the kava from Fiji is a more rustic blend that is not strained. Both are delicious and both allow you to receive the medicinal properties and values of the kava. Honorable mentions, we have the Tongan kava, also unique in the sense that it's grown in volcanic soil. This one's actually known as an easy tasting kava, maybe a little bit less bitter on the tongue, and it's suitable for daytime drinking. It's more uplifting. We have the Samoan kava, which is referred to as ava, and it's rare because Samoa doesn't grow a lot of kava. It's also uplifting. It's more of a happy kava with little to no sedation, and it's known as one of the best tasting kavas around. Lastly, we're going to talk about the Hawaiian kava, known as ava. Hawaii actually currently has 13 traditional varieties of kava, and they're all good for drinking. So, what kind of kava do you like? Tap in there in the comments. What's your favorite kind? So let's talk about the medicinal qualities and properties, right? That's what we're here for. We're here for the medicine. So there are a set of what's known as lactones that are abundant and present almost exclusively in kava. So thus, it has the name of kava lactones. These kava lactones are believed to be responsible for the health benefits of traditional kava preparations. There are 6 major kava lactones, which are reported to account for up to 20 to 50% of the dry weight of the kava root and 96% of its organic compounds. So, 4 things that we're going to talk about in the medicinal benefits of kava. Number 1, it's relaxation benefits, which I've kind of already alluded to in describing the different kinds of kava. Okay? Kava produces and promotes calmness and allows you to reduce your levels of stress and anxiety. Okay? Yes. It's also believed to treat insomnia. A number of clinical trials have shown that kava within the daily range of 20 to 300 milligrams of kava lactones per day is particularly effective for anxiety. Secondly, we're going to talk about pain relief, and I put pain relief with the anti-inflammatory compounds because usually pain is caused by inflammation in the body, right? You get a headache, what's going on? Inflammation, right? Your knee hurts, what's going on? Inflammation, right? So kava has anti-inflammatory properties that help alleviate pain effectively. Okay? It's also improved the rate of wound healing associated with soft tissue inflammation. Okay? So again, your knee hurts, right? Your shoulder hurts. Maybe kava could help. Number 3, anti-cancer. There is growing evidence. We continue to study and learn more and more about kava and its scientific properties, but there's growing evidence that consumption of kava could be associated with a low incidence of cancer. Lung cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer, as well as urinary cancers. Kava is known to have suppressor genes. I mean, this is powerful stuff. Lastly, we're going to talk about the psychopharmaceutical benefits of kava. Kava is used clinically to treat epilepsy. It's suggested that it can also reduce cravings of substances of abuse in alcohol, tobacco, cocaine, and heroin. Okay? Kava has been used as a part of addiction rehabilitation programs in New Zealand with a reported 90% success rate. That's powerful. Importantly, kava consumption appears to be clinically non-addictive. So unlike these other drugs that we've talked about, alcohol, tobacco, cocaine, heroin, that are all very addictive, drugs, kava is non-addictive, and it's a great way to replace these drugs. Lastly, I want to say that kava consumption has also been reported with improvement of recognition in memory tasks. So it's good for the mind in remembering as well. So let's talk about the preparation of kava. How do we prepare kava? So kava is a root, and we prepare it usually dry, but some regions will include the stems as well as the peelings of the kava in the preparation. But typically, the dried root is ground into a powder, which is then mixed with room temperature water or coconut milk and filtered through a cloth into a suspension. So if you've ever made like almond milk or any kind of nut milk or something like that, it's a very similar process, right? You get a nut bag, you put the ingredients in there and you squeeze it out. That's how you make kava. But you can also buy a dietary supplement like in a pill where they'll have powdered kava inside, and you can just, take it as a pill if the bitterness of the kava doesn't work for you. Some people don't like its earthy taste. You can always take it as a pill. So, some of you I know are like, well, wait, I heard that kava is not good for you, that kava is dangerous. So, we're going to talk about the precautions around kava and some of its history in reference to the liver and why in some regions around the world, kava has been banned. So let's talk about the precautions around kava, right? Some of you may have heard about some things around the world, and I want to address all of that right now. So in Germany, specifically, due to the potential risk of liver damage, these products were banned in Germany in 2002. Now, this ban was lifted in 2014 because the science caught up and there was clinical data to prove that kava is not dangerous. To be clear, 0.3 cases per 1 million daily doses, okay? There is 0.3% chance of 1 million people that something could go wrong when consuming kava. Now, when we compare that to pharmaceutical medications, I mean, there's no comparison there, right? 0.3 is like this much. And when we compare it to pharmaceutical medication, we see that kava is way less harmful for you, right? We constantly hear about the dangers of taking medication, drugs, okay? Kava is a natural root from the earth, and it is not harmful unless you are consuming 4,000 milligrams to 5,000 milligrams per day. Now, that is an extreme amount of kava, and nobody would ever drink that in a daily consumption, right? So we're gonna talk about the dosing a little bit more, specifically here at Kava Culture. We took the time to figure out exactly how many milligrams of kavatones are in one serving or one shell, as it's known, a single shell of kava, right? Here at Kava Culture, we know for certain that there are 261 milligrams of kavatones per one shell, okay? Now, according to the clinical trials, the daily dose of 200 to 300 milligrams of kavatones is what is recommended for you to receive the medicinal values. So here at Kava Culture South Tampa, we are spot on, okay? Now, a lot of the issues around the dangers of kava is because in the past there has been no measuring, right, of the milligrams of how much kava is in one serving. But we know for certain that there's 261 milligrams of kava in one shell here at Kava Culture. So if you're looking to take kava because of its medicinal benefits, medicinal properties, come to Kava Culture. You can have one shell a day. That's all you need. One shell a day to receive the beneficial properties of kava. All right, I hope that makes sense. Drop it in the comments if it makes sense. Give me a thumbs up if it makes sense. So, last thing I want to talk about in the precautions is about kava and alcohol. Sometimes when you go to kava bars, they'll ask you, hey, have you had alcohol today? Because kava and alcohol should not be mixed. This sometimes leaves people with an impression in their mind that kava is dangerous. No, alcohol is dangerous, okay? So yes, kava is actually metabolized by the liver. The kava lactones are absorbed by the small intestine, and then they're transported to the liver, where they're metabolized by 450 of the system enzymes involved in human drug metabolism. However, kava is not dangerous. I just want to reiterate that, okay? So, why can't you drink kava and alcohol? Well, because the same body systems are used to metabolize. And what happens when you drink both is your body doesn't have enough to do both things. Okay? So you want to make sure that when you drink kava, you're not drinking alcohol because your liver is already using the enzymes to process one or the other. We don't want to confuse the system, okay? Kava can tie up the enzymes that the liver uses to metabolize drugs, causing the drugs to accumulate and to cause liver damage. It uses the same enzyme as alcohol to break down. So taking the two together can stress the enzyme pathways and increase the risk of liver damage. But kava is not the problem. Alcohol is the problem, okay? So I think I've honed that in enough. So let's talk about kava in modern times. Now, today, especially here in America, kava is consumed as a social drink, right? And firstly, kava bars in New Caledonia, where young people wanted to come together and not drink alcohol, this is where this tradition kind of started of, having a kava bar and having, kava available in a bar setting without alcohol. So kava bars later expanded to Hawaii and have sprung up on islands in the Pacific and in Western nations here in recent years. So again, I want to say that Kava Culture South Tampa, one shell has 261 milligrams. And for you to get the properties, the medicinal properties of kava, one shell a day is all you need. So, if you have any questions about kava, its usage, how to dose it, where you can find it, you can go ahead and drop me a message. Kava Culture South Tampa is located at 4820 South Himes, Suite 2, Tampa, Florida, 33611. Okay, come on out, enjoy some kava. There's some great kava tenders here that can answer any questions that you may have. And I will see you guys in the next one. Ciao.